My name is Joel Mark Barredo. I am gay and I am a queer Southeast Asian scholar of human rights. My pronouns are he and him and they and them.
Hi, my name is Nikki. I'm a proud gay man. My pronoun is he, him, his.
ชื่อนูลายครับชื่อเล่นชื่อตาหนวยครับอายุ28ครับเป็นไตรไมล์
Sawadika. My name is Jojo. My name is Suhail Joseph. Suhail is a Muslim name and Joseph is a Christian name. I am born woman in a man's body. Since childhood, I always have a feeling of a female and asked my mother why I am like this, and she told me when she was expecting me she wanted to have a daughter, so therefore I have all the feminine feelings and I have an attitude of being a woman, and I'm proud to call myself as a transgender woman. Thank you.
My country of origin, I'm a Filipino, but I could say that I'm raised and I'm bred in Southeast Asia, as I've had a lot of experience in different countries in Southeast Asia, both in my personal and professional lives.
I was born in Islamic country which is known as Pakistan.
Indonesia.
มาจากเมียนมาครับตอนนี้ทำงานที่อยู่เมืองไทยอยู่ประเทศไทยมา14ปีแล้วครับตอนนี้อยู่ปากุเทียน14ครับ
I've been based in Thailand for about 12 years now. I am based right by the suburbs of Bangkok in Nakhon Pathom. And for the longest time, I've been a researcher in Thailand. I can say that I am a human rights researcher and I'm currently managing a human rights and peace academic program. What made me come to Thailand, I came to Thailand to study, to take my master's at Mahidol University. So I'm a graduate of International Masters on Human Rights at the Institute of Human Rights and Peace Studies in Mahidol University. Another reason why I came to Thailand is that I find this country so fascinating in many ways, and it also has distinct similarities with the Philippines. I guess it's the nuances of being Southeast Asian, right? Eating rice, being used to warm climate, and being able to enjoy and create cultures in our communities, in our both host and adopted communities.
I came to Thailand 8 years ago in 2013. I was born as an LGBT person, but I was unaware of it. I was born in an Islamic country and born in a Christian family, which is doubly condemned.
I have been in Bangkok for almost 1 year. I'm currently based in Bangkok. I'm a media campaign and communication officer in a regional network organization for men who have sex with men and other SOGSC people in the Asia Pacific region. I would not say I'm an expat. Perhaps the right word is foreign migrant worker.
Well, I would always say my general answer would be that I feel that there is a greater amount of freedom in Thailand. Well, in certain ways, but I think in Thailand people accept you for who you are, and I think that's very important to enjoy and to build one's identity, gender identity. But at the same time, I think Thailand has become a home, has become a place of building oneself, shaping oneself. I think living in Thailand as a migrant person had taught me a lot of things and has made me and has helped me in becoming who I am at the moment, and still continues to teach me on my other identities, on what I can do for society, specifically as a human rights activist, academic activist.
I would say somewhat liberated. Well, compared to where I came from, Indonesia, which is a challenging country.
ผมแต่ก็อยู่ตลาดเนาะอยู่ตลาดก็มีคนถามว่าเป็นทำไมไม่อยู่เหมือนผู้หญิงทำไมอยู่แบบนี้ไม่อายชาวบ้านหรอเพราะผมว่าเป็นคนที่ผมเป็นมาตั้งแต่เด็กตั้งแต่อายุรู้ตัวเองว่าเราผู้ชายเกิดมาเป็นผู้ชายเนาะเราแต่ว่าร่างกายมาผู้หญิงเนาะไม่สบายใจแต่ผมอยู่ให้สบายใจที่สุดเราเป็นเราตัวเราใช่ไหมเราเป็นตัวเราเป็นตัวยังไงก็แล้วแต่เราใครพูดอะไรผมไม่สนใจ
The challenges still, I think, you have to see it from a lens of an intersectional lens, right? I am a migrant worker. I am not a citizen, so then I don't enjoy the rights of a citizen living in this country. So there are limits to my stay. There are limits to my existence here in the country, and I think that impedes a lot of things that I want to do in this country. Other challenges is I think there is that perception that Thailand is an LGBTIQ plus heaven, which I think is quite a myth, because I know a lot of friends, I know a lot of people who are still struggling to express themselves and to enjoy and claim their basic rights and freedoms. And I think it's important that we get to see, and we get to not just see, but we get to identify, we get to solve it as a community, the structural oppression that we face in Thailand, whether or not you are a citizen.
Challenges as LGBTQ members, it's a lot actually, but I would say self-stigma, the feeling that maybe I'm not as good as heterosexuals. This is the effect of living in a challenging setting for such a long time. I was born and raised in Indonesia. Challenges as a foreigner, I have that feeling of emptiness for some time, because making new friendships are not that easy, especially for person on my age, and there's cultural background, and perhaps it would be much more fun if I move here in a younger age, but and also it's the time that I move here to Thailand is, I would say, wrong timing, because we are now living in a so-called pandemic situation.
ผมมาตั้งแต่แรกก็ลำบากผมมาตั้งแต่อายุ14นะตอนนี้28มาถึง14ปีแล้วมาแรกๆเราก็ยังเด็กอยู่นะตอนนั้นทำงานโรงงานมาแรกๆไม่มีพาสปอร์ตอะไรด้วยเราก็เป็นคนเป็นทอนด้วยครับใช่ปะเหมือนกับ ติงตัวผู้ชายแต่ร่างกายผู้หญิงเราก็ทำงานลำบากเหมือนกันอยู่โรงงานเก็บกู้นะยืนทั้งวันอยู่โรงงานประมาณ3 ปีนะครับเราก็ได้พาสปอร์ตผมก็ไปที่อื่นย้ายงานไปขายกาแฟที่สุราษฎร์ธานีแล้วก็ผมอยู่ขายกาแฟไปประมาณ2 ปีแต่แล้วผมก็อยากจะมากรุงเทพก็เลยผมก็มาอยู่ที่เยาวราชตลาดเยาวราช9 ปีแล้วเยาวราชขายของก็เจอกับเจ๊ผมดีมากสอนทุกเซนทุกอย่างขอบคุณเขามากเลยทุกวันนี้เขาก็สอนให้เจริญขึ้นเลยตอนนั้นมาไปถึงร้านเขาอายุแค่18เขาก็ผมก็เลยทานนี้เจ๊ผมก็เป็นทรัสแม่เหมือนกันเขาก็สอนทุกอย่างเนาะมันใช้ยายังไงฉีดยายังไงเขาก็สอน
Gravely to a certain extent. My grandmother, who I love so much dearly, had passed on. I wasn't able to see her, and I think it had greatly exposed and it had greatly deepened the inequalities in societies and communities, and it's become a lived experience for all. I cannot say it in much detail, but I think everyone understands that COVID-19 had widened gaps and had induced more pains and wounds that we've been experiencing before the pandemic even started.
Travel-related restrictions, because it's so hard right now to see my partner, who I have been in almost 14 years relationship, and also my family and friends back in my country. I cannot go on a plane for a weekend and just go back here. It doesn't work that way now.
Again, one's lived experience has to be taken into consideration. If there are inequalities in the country, then I guess one cannot enjoy freedom. An individual or a community will not be totally be able to fully enjoy their freedoms. No, I can say that, but I guess and to be able to say that it is a gay paradise, then you need infrastructure, you need policies, you need to ensure that rights, freedoms are enjoyed by all, not just by a privileged few, across all economic sectors, across all social strata, and I think wherever in the world, not just in Thailand, if that is provided, if that is sustained, then I guess I hope the whole world can be a gay paradise, right? You cannot just distinctly call Thailand the gay paradise, but everyone has to. We need to reach a certain level of acceptance and giving oneself or giving oneself for the other to enjoy the freedom in order for paradise to come about. Thank you very much.
It could be paradise for a while, but of course you cannot compare to, let's say, Europe, because Thailand is still, I would say typical Asian countries. We got norms, we got rules, but if compared to Indonesia, it is more relaxed, yes. And by the way, PS, sometimes they charge more for foreigners.
I would request UNHCR and the Thai government or Thai authorities to please give permission to the refugee and asylum seekers LGBT community so they can work and they can live on their life, because the asylum seekers and refugees LGBT, their parents or their family, they usually disown them, so they have no way to support themselves. Therefore, I request UNHCR and the Thai authorities to give some kind of leniency to an LGBT community so they can survive and live their lives. Thank you.
ตอนนั้นไปทันพาสปอร์ตที่ก่อนที่แล้วนะ2 ปีที่แล้วไปทำพาสปอร์ตไปต่อพาสปอร์ตนะตรวจร่างกายแล้วเขาเรียกชื่อว่านูลายนะนางสาวนูลายอย่างเนี้ยเขาเรียกอย่างเนี้ยก็แต่พม่าคนนั่งรอกันเยอะๆนางสาวนูลายก็เราก็ขึ้นไปเขาก็มองชื่อเรื่องนางสาวแล้วก็ทำไมมีหนวดมีเครามาด้วย เขาถามเลยชื่อผู้หญิงนะเขาถามผมนั่นแหละเป็นทองครับผมเป็นทองผู้หญิงเขาบอกเขาหน้าให้หน้าเขาก็เหมือนกับให้เจ้าหน้าที่มันดูด้วยอ่ะผมไม่ชอบเลยเหมือนกับให้ดูดิอันนี้ผู้หญิงผู้ชายถ่ายดูอย่างเนี้ยผมก็อายชาวบ้านเพื่อนชาวแถวอย่างนี้ไม่จำเป็นดีกว่า